I just realized I forgot to put a description in, but hey ho, I'll add it later. Can you hear the music? Oh yes, I think I've worked out how to play some royalty-free tunes into Facebook so that we can start with a bit of a boogie. Oh yeah. Not the best tracks in the whole wide world, but nonetheless, I can dance, and dancing is good. Am I in the right place? Can someone tell me hello if I'm in the right place? Because I can't see anyone, and I forgot to put a description today. I got too excited with my music. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of you. Say hello in the comments section. Tell me where in the world you are. And the most critical question for Lunch and Learn Live on a Tuesday, what's for lunch? Oh yeah, what's for lunch? Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Starting the day with a bit of music. Good to see you. Hi, Jean. Hi, Anne. Lovely to see you all, my darlings. Welcome to Tuesday Lunch and Learn Live with me, Dr. Joanna Martin. I'm the founder of one of many, if you are brand new to the community. Also, the crazy Australian who masquerades as a somewhat intelligent doctor who used to be a doctor and now does this for a living. And it is an absolute pleasure to be with you. Lynn says, loving your energy. Hi from Manchester. Yes, good to see you too, Lynn. Hello. I am indeed a dancing diva, Simone. It is very, very true. Jilly is over in lockdown, Victoria. Jilly, I'm with you at the moment, my love. Jamesy got a fever on the weekend. My 7-year-old got a fever on the weekend. I'm sure it's just a head cold. He's full of snot and all of the rest of it. And actually, Greg's starting to get snotty now too, poor bugger. But of course, fever being fever, have to stay home from school, have to go do the testing. So we went up to Birmingham on Sunday evening for drive-through testing. Kudos to the drive-through testing people. That was pretty fine, actually. I've heard some horror stories, but ours was pretty fine. Test results came back this morning. Inconclusive. So guess what me and James are doing tonight? We're going to go do the whole thing again in Worcester. So right now, Jilly, like you, I am locked down. We are in quarantine at the moment. But do you know what came up for me the other day as it was about certainty and uncertainty. In fact, right now, I'm going to... that's why I didn't put a description, because I am changing what I was going to talk about. I want to share with you the insights that I had on certainty and uncertainty in the shower the other morning, in this sitting inside all of this, because I think it's a interesting kind of time for all of us. Yes, be happy anyway. That's right, Jilly. How many of you are noticing that the constant kind of having to live with uncertainty at the moment feels really hard, you know? God, I remember doing exercises on uncertainty in my dance class. I know that sounds weird, but it's the kind of dance that we do. Pre-coronavirus, when the world felt uncertain because of climate change and tensions and, issues of race and gender and all of that kind of stuff. It was bedlam enough before we threw a global pandemic in the mix. But how many of you are feeling like you're having challenges with uncertainty at the moment? Give me a little thumbs up or write in the comments section, yes, absolutely, challenges with the uncertainty at the moment. I think it's something that a lot of us are facing, right? I know that just when I felt like we were getting some certainty together, returned to school last Wednesday. I was super excited about, as many of you know, Rosie was supposed to start nursery yesterday, bunch of different things. And then here we are back in the uncertainty of, are we in lockdown for 2 days? Are we in lockdown for 10 days? Am I going to get coronavirus and die? Is my husband going to get coronavirus and die? Are we, have we infected anybody without knowing about it? All of that stuff, right? So back in the complete uncertainty of all of that. And I noticed that, first thing I noticed about uncertainty is we think we think that we have certainty when we kind of slow the pace of change of life down, right? It never stops changing, but it doesn't usually change as dramatically from day to day with so many people as it is at the moment, right? So I think there's a few things going on. One is that things are changing more rapidly, and less rapidly now than perhaps they were back in March in the UK. And, well, it depends where you are. I know Melbourne, things feel like they're changing so rapidly at the moment. And yes, Lynn says there's so much uncertainty going on right now. Absolutely, right? So the first thing we need to be aware of is that certainty about anything is actually an illusion. Even if you cast your mind back to, I don't know, a year ago or 5 years ago when you thought you had certainty and your planning was, you could plan your business 3 years into the future, or you could plan a wedding in 2 years' time, or you could plan a holiday, a year ahead or 6 months ahead. These things that we thought we had certainty because we thought we knew where we would be with our job, with our relationship, with the weather, with life, with whatever. These things felt like they were certain. But of course, first thing we need to be aware of is that overwhelmingly, certainty is pretty much an illusion. We never have certainty about things. It's just that we live in denial of the fact that it's all constantly uncertain, I think this is a piece of it. Any one of us could, drop dead. Any one of us could lose a job, lose a business for some reason that we weren't expecting. Any one of us, anything, we could lose loved ones. These things happen like this all of the time, but just to less people at the same time. I think that's the distinction around this moment, this critical moment that we find ourselves in, is that we are in a moment of collective uncertainty where all of us are experiencing higher levels of, we have to be face to face with the truth of certainty, is that it is pretty much an illusion. So many variables in life are uncertain. You're absolutely right, Julie. The only thing that's certain is change, yeah? Absolutely. Lynn says there are so many different announcements at the moment and U-turns. Let me pop that one up there. So many different announcements and U-turns, so much confusion. It is so true, right? It's absolutely true. So how do we live with it? I did a Facebook Live with a group of women from the NHS in Liz, the medics coach. She's one of our certified coaches. And I did a Facebook Live with her this morning in her group. And we were talking about this because a lot of NHS workers, and if you are one, or healthcare workers the world around, it's not just NHS, but in the Northern Hemisphere, we've got a normal winter ahead, right? And in the NHS, and NHS winter is also always stressy with flu and all of that kind of stuff. Now we've got also coronavirus and everybody's already exhausted and on their knees. And there are many, many industries and many of us around the world at the moment who are feeling like that we're depleted. And then, God, what does the future hold? And that can bring up a whole lot of anxiety. So the uncertainty about the future can cause us to feel very anxious in the here and the now as well. Does that make sense, ladies? How many of you have felt some level of anxiety about the future, about not knowing and going, God, can I plan this? And so we stopped planning, right? For a while, we all stopped planning. Some of us are starting to plan again, starting to execute on some of those plans. But the anxiety around it, that this not knowing feels tough to be with. Let me know in the comment section if this is something that's... Yeah, right, a few of you giving the little thumbs up or the hearts to that. Feeling this kind of anxiety or worry about things. That's interesting. Claire says, I heard that these sorts of significant shocking events usually occur at a rate of 1 per 100 people in a year, and now it's happening to lots of us frequently. That's an interesting statistic, Claire. I'd be really interested to know if you know where you got that statistic for, because I'd be very interested to read that. That's what instinctively I've kind of felt, is that these things happen, they just happen to isolated members of us and not as frequently. Right now we're in this collective moment where so much is happening to all of us, right? And this is... So therefore, our levels of uncertainty, it's not our own just personal levels of uncertainty we've got to be sitting with, it's our collective uncertainty. And we all know emotions are contagious. So if our uncertainty causes us to feel slightly anxious, then every time, and then you're out and, at the supermarket with a bunch of slightly anxious people, and you're going to the doctors with a bunch of slightly anxious people, or very anxious people in that setting perhaps, or you're going to work with a bunch of slightly anxious people because you're returning to the office and in shifts and everyone's slightly anxious. We're living in this slightly anxious because we can't deal with uncertainty. So I think this is a piece that we need to tune into and become aware of, is that this is a moment of uncertainty, collective uncertainty. A lot of us don't know what's going on. We never really did, but right now we're very present to the fact that we've got no idea what's coming. For many people, that triggers a sense of anxiety about the future, and then we're living in an anxiety soup. So even if we're doing okay with it, we go out in the world, other people not doing okay with it, unless we've got our rigorous emotional hygiene techniques that we talk about, then this is tough. By the way, if this is hitting home for you, or you know anybody who would be interested in hearing about this or how to deal with uncertainty, please do tag them in the comments section or share this to your Facebook page after we finish the broadcast, or even now. I think you can share to your page right now. Please do feel free to invite anybody along who you know is struggling with uncertainty at the moment. Yeah, great. That's good. Yeah, Lynn says, I had a lot more anxiety at the beginning of the pandemic. Now I've got to the stage of acceptance. I'm doing what I can and lots of radical self-care. Yeah, well done. And so was I, right? I was like, we've got this scan, we're okay, school's gone back, all is well. And then bang, James gets a fever. Carpet, rug, pulled out from underneath us again. And okay, so now Rosie can't go to nursery, James can't go to school. Is it coronavirus? I'm pretty sure it's not. I would say 9. If it was any other time in history, I'd just be like, it's my kid, he's got a virus, we'll be fine. It's no big deal. Maybe we'll get a cold, maybe not, doesn't matter. But because of this moment that we're in, of course, I'm like, whoa, what if it is? And if it is, what does that mean? Who's been exposed to us? What does it mean? What if, and I'm right back to, well, there's Greg and there's me and there's no family, and what happens if we both go down? All of that stuff, right? Comes straight back up. So yesterday morning, I was in the shower contemplating this stuff. Of course it lands with 7 days before my period arrives, and those of you who've been following me for a while know that with my cycles, 7 days before my period arrives, my progesterone plummets and the world is ending, no matter what is going on. So add current uncertainty to hormonal catastrophization. Does anyone else do hormonal catastrophization? That's a thing. I should coin that. There's a book in that. Hormonal catastrophization and what to do about it. Not much, just be aware of it is all I know. Anyway, even with all the awareness around it, so I'm thinking about all of this in the shower and this uncertainty, and I just thought, okay, I know what to do. I just need to come back to what I can be certain of. So this is how I found my way through in that moment of elevating anxiety, and I invite you to, if this is useful for you, to please do the same. So the key to uncertainty is to find those things about which you can be certain, to find anchor points that ground you. Because the feeling of uncertainty, this feeling of anxiety, is like an ungrounding. It's where we get disconnected from ourselves, we get up, spacey, all of that kind of stuff, right? So we've got to ground ourselves. But how do we ground ourselves? We want to ground ourselves in some certainty. So what can we be certain about? And I started with my breath, because I can be certain that right now I'm breathing in and right now I'm breathing out. And that helped for a little while. Can be certain of that. Can be certain that my feet are on the ground. And those things brought me into the moment. But then as I and they're the things that I often will utilize when I'm kind of getting a little anxious or a little bit worried about stuff. I'll get myself grounded in the moment, get my tree roots down into the earth, know that my feet are on the ground. I can feel my feet on the ground. I'm certain that my feet are on the ground. I'm certain that I'm breathing in. I'm certain that I'm breathing out. But there was something about it, that was for the present moment, there was something about it which wasn't enough to kind of help me overcome this anxiety about the future. And in that moment, I kind of went, well, okay, if I look out around me right now, what am I certain of? And I thought to myself, I am certain that the sun will go down tonight and it will rise again tomorrow. Or the scientist in me goes, yes, that the earth will pivot and it will appear that way. But right? I'm certain of that. I'm absolutely certain of that. When that stops, well, we've got a very serious problem on our hands. No amount of anxiety is unnecessary if that stops happening. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up with my own dumb jokes. So that was a certainty. But what that made me realise is it's nature. You know, I'm certain right now that it's the autumn. We're heading into the autumn. The blackberries are ripening on the bushes. And every time I go out, I feel that certainty of nature. The certainty that the cabbage moths and I are in battle over my cabbages. You know, the certainty of, you know, that the earth will continue to turn. And you know what? No matter what we little mere human beings do, she will out. Mother Nature will out. You know, we are doing our very best to disrupt her as a species at the moment. But ultimately, you know, we'll just extinguish ourselves and she'll kind of bounce back eventually, probably, once we stop doing whatever we're doing. So we really, there's something for me about the tininess and the insignificance of us in the face of things like nature. And I just read that like an hour ago, there was an earthquake near Leighton Buzzard in the UK. It was only 3.9, but some of our members were like, whoa, did you feel that? For me, that reminds me of a time when I was over in Bali, actually, and I was in a big earthquake. It was 7 on the Richter scale with my kids and my family. And at the time, of course, it was terrifying, but there was something about knowing that I have no control. There's something about that, knowing that Mother Nature will be Mother Nature and she'll do that thing, that actually has me feel okay. And I know that's not the case for everybody, but it is something over which I can have no control. I can have no control over when the blackberries ripen. I can have no control over earthquakes. I can have no control over when the sun comes up or goes down. So that certainty about the fact that nature will continue and I can have no control over it. And my insignificance in the face of that, for me, and it might not be for everybody, I'm interested in your thoughts on that, but for me, it gives me great, what's the word I'm looking for? Comfort. It gives me great comfort because I stop trying to control, right? I'm like, well, whatever's going to be will be. There's a sense of surrender when I can connect with nature and her awesomeness. So that was one thing that I realised. And then the second thing that became present to me is I looked around and I thought, okay, right now, what am I certain of? And about that time, my 2 little creatures came and joined me in the shower. They're beautiful little kids. They're super cute in the nude. Their little peachy cheeks. And I looked at them and I thought, you know what, right now I am certain of their love of me. And I am certain, even more certain of my love of them. And I am certain they will love me at least until the age of 13. At that time, things might change. They might think things change, but I am certain of love. And I thought to myself, and I am certain of Greg's love of me, and I am certain of my love of Greg because I choose it every single day. It's a different love than the love of the kids. It feels like that's an unconditionality, you know. And to love Greg unconditionally takes choice. It absolutely takes choice. But I do choose it, and because I choose it, I can be certain of it. And that gave me great comfort too, to know that another great certainty in my life was love. That I could choose to love myself, that I could choose to love my kids, I can choose to love my husband, that I can choose to sit in the centre of a bubble of love at any moment. So here I am feeling my smallness into the huge expanse of nature, and I'm feeling the certainty of love, the choice to choose to love. And in that moment, it was like anxiety completely dissipated. As I looked out towards the future, I knew that it doesn't matter what happens with the tests. It doesn't matter what happens with with anything, right? It doesn't matter what happens with climate change. It doesn't matter what happens with any political change. It doesn't matter what happens with any major issues, challenges, tensions, or whatever in the world. I'm going to be okay because nature and because love. Right? I can choose to love. I can choose to love through all of it. And there's an anchoring, a groundedness in that, which felt very comforting for me. So that was a way for me to find some certainty in the uncertainty. And I showed up to work today and, you know, the normal amount of stuff's going on. we've got Momentum for Change coming up, right, in a couple of weeks' time, which is super exciting. And brilliant news is it's a virtual event, so whether I'm in quarantine or not, we can continue. But of course, I have to start thinking about, a whole bunch of different things that we'd started to put in place. So there's always things that will come up. But for me, I've just got such comfort right now in this exact moment in time in nature and love. Love for my team, love for my kids, love for my family. And I feel that from that place, I feel, I want to say invincible. I do. I want to say invincible. I know that sounds ridiculous because, of course, I'm vincible. Is vincible the opposite of invincible? Come on, someone must know the opposite of invincible. But of course, I'm invincible. Or I could be taken out by coronavirus tomorrow, right? Hopefully not, but I could. I could be taken out by anything tomorrow. God. But in the center of love, of loving, of being love, how we talk about being love at our retreat, Be Love, not about being loved by others, but of being love, in the center of that, I feel absolutely invincible, that there's nothing I can't handle, that there's nothing that cannot be handled from that place. Because that is the place that beauty lies, and that is the place that comfort lies, and that is the place that surrender lies. And I think it's a great place to come from. So let's take a few questions about that now. How's this landing with you, ladies? Is this helping you to understand perhaps a new way of engaging with the world in these uncertain times? Lovely. Jilly says, it feels like there is only love. Yes. Only nature and consciousness. It is quite liberating. Yes, it is, isn't it? Just that sense of, this is it then, right? This is actually all that really, truly matters in the end, yeah? It's not all that matters. Of course, at a very human level, we want to get up and make the world better for as many people as we can in our lifetime, great. That's what I'm up for anyway, and I'm sure if you're part of one of many, there's an aspect of that resonates with you. So we do things on a human level, but beyond that, there is this place that we can have real certainty in a surrender, I suppose. So Angela's got a great question here, and please do, by the way, we are going to be digging in on all of this at our Momentum for Change event. It's a live, online, interactive training experience happening, not this weekend, but next, the 19th and 20th of September. My oldest girlfriend's birthday on the 20th of September. We've known each other since we were 7 years old. It's happening then, and it is completely free, absolutely free. So go get your ticket at wantamany.co.uk/momentum, and please invite any woman that you know could use a dose of certainty, a dose of getting out of procrastination and back into flow, a dose of healing, a dose of calm, a dose of just a weekend for herself. Please invite her along. It's a really fabulous opportunity. I can see Joe has put a link in the comments section there that you can click on as well to go register your ticket. We have over 2,000 people registered as of today, so it is going to be an extraordinary event. We've got people coming from all over the world, all over the States, all over Europe, all over Asia, all over Australia. I don't know how many countries we're at the moment. That will be my next thing to go and ask the team, but it's going to be fantastic. Lynn says she's registered. Woohoo! Yay. But let's come now to Angela's question. And if you have any other questions about this certainty, uncertainty piece, and we're going to be digging into this even in more detail at Momentum for Change. But if you have any questions, please do. I'll take a few questions today. So Anne says, if you don't have the certainty of love from others, is loving yourself enough? It's really very relevant to a friend. I believe I'm incredibly lucky to have certainty about the fact that I am loved, right? That is lucky, and not everybody has that. The only thing we can actually, all of us, every single person who's listening to this, every single person on the planet can choose the certainty of being love. If you wonder what that means, it's like being loving. We can choose to sit in love, to come from love, to be connected to love, to be connected to the source of love. And that is something that can absolutely give us great certainty. Do you know, practicing, at the very simple, practicing self-love, right? Practicing self-love, going, I need a rest. I'm tired, I need a rest. Practicing self-love, going and taking a nap. You can have certainty Certainty in the fact that you are prioritizing yourself, that you're worth prioritizing in those sorts of things. Yeah, that can give you great certainty. I am here, I am in my bed, and I am nourishing myself right now as I take a nap. This I am certain of. And I am certain that I am worth having this rest. Yeah, it can give you so much certainty doing those little acts of self-love. If someone doesn't have, if you don't have a partner or kids or family that love you, that you are very isolated and alone, it's the place that you can find love. I believe this is where faith becomes really important, because I believe, this is my personal belief, and I know we all have different beliefs, but whether it's God, Goddess, Allah, or, Sarasvati, or whatever you call the divine, the universe, the cosmos, I believe it is love. I believe that source energy, that God energy is love. So if you don't have people, we can at least know that we're loved in that kind of domain, right? Which I think is we're accessing our, what we call here at One of Many, our sorceress energy, the part of us that connects with our divine. I think that's what I connected in, this certainty of love. It's the current of love that runs through my kids. It's the current of love that runs through Greg. It's the current of love, most importantly, that runs through me when I am loving of my kids and of Greg and of my team and of all of you, really, right? I can have absolute certainty of that, and I can have absolute certainty from that place. So yeah, that's it. Jilly said it really beautifully. She says, love is, regardless of any reason for it or any object for it. That's it. You don't have to have an object. It's just that current. It's a current. It's life. And I believe it can be trusted. Do you know? I think it can be trusted. Lovely. If this has been helpful, please let me know in the comments section. Helpful, yes, great, thank you. Something along those sorts of lines, so I get a sense of whether this has been good, or give me a little heart or thumbs up or some words or something. If there are no other questions, we may wrap up in a moment, but please remember to get yourself registered for Momentum for Change. And please, I implore you, share with a friend, because every few months, we will do something big and free to get these tools out to as many people as we possibly can. Of course, if you love what we do, we hope that you will invest in other programs and continue your journey with us, but you are under no obligation to do that, of course. It is going to be an incredibly transformational weekend. You will love it, and your friends will love it. They will thank you for it, for sure. Angela says, she's come back to her friend here. She does not have enough of herself to be of love. She's so depleted. I'm trying to get her to be enough, but she's just not there. I don't know how to guide her. I know I support her and she tells me, but very, very low. She does have love then, Angela, because she's got you. She's got you, right? And you're loving her, and that's something she can be certain of, right? She can be certain of that in this moment. But help her to feel, if someone is that deplete, make sure, that they're getting some professional help, right? That's really, really important. At the moment, a lot of us are, and a lot of us are that deplete. A lot of people are so depleted at the moment because we're full up with emotions, we're full up with grief, we're full up with fear, we're full up with loss, we're full up with hurt, we're full up with anger, we're full up with, anxiety, the whole lot, right? We're full up with emotions because of what has been going on recently. And we are depleted of energy supplies for the day-to-day because we're using up so much executive functioning. Angela, we're going to dig into all of this at the Momentum for Change weekend. So if she's got enough in her tank to, do something like this, but over the course of a weekend, please invite her along, because I can really support you in helping her to understand how she might be feeling right now. And, this is what we do for a living. We help people who are depleted get themselves back on their feet, We get so many women come into our community in abject burnout, we help put them back together again. Not everybody. Some of us are just coming along because we recognize that if we don't do something, we might end up there. But absolutely, we can support her. So please do introduce her to the community, and if we can help, that'll be really lovely. Fabulous questions. Kate says, do we have an agenda for the workshop weekend? We kind of do, yes, sort of do. We always kind of not very good at sticking to time. And we sometimes change things around, content around as we go. The reason for that is because what we deliver, we don't deliver conferences, right? We don't deliver, okay, so from 10 past 1 until 20 to 3, it will be guest speaker number 1 speaking, and you've only got that time or what have you. What we deliver, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm taking the mickey, but there's really nothing wrong with that. But that's not the style of events that we run. Our outcome for the weekend is transformation. And transformation means that if those people participating with us are stuck on something or stuff's coming up, we've got to spend more time there, right, where we're stuck, where the stuff's coming up. We spend less time over here where things are. So we won't be sharing an agenda for the weekend where you can log in for this bit or log out for that bit. We may give approximate times for when our guest speakers are speaking, because obviously they're going to be relatively there, but we won't be sharing like an overall agenda. It is a transformational weekend. So if you possibly can, come for the whole weekend. If you can't, get yourself a premium level ticket so that you get the recordings of the event. The recordings will be made available for 6 months after the event so that you can listen to them, catch up on any pieces that you missed. Even if you can't make the event at all, get yourself a premium ticket so you can get the recordings, because it is going to be an amazing transformational event, and do it the following weekend or the weekend after that with a few friends, right? Get together and have a watch party again. But absolutely, it's critical that you. So from our perspective, because we deliver transformational events, we tend not to share agendas. In the past, when we have done that, we just end up letting people down because we ebb and we flow to get you the outcome. And the outcome is right now, you're full up with emotion, you're pretty depleted. We need to, our job on that weekend is to get you reconnected to yourself, reconnected to center, reconnected to some certainty, to your inner strength and resilience, and to help you tap into momentum for change. So that's my outcome for the weekend. So we have an approximation of where we're going to go on that journey, but being a transformational event, it will be a little bit ebb and flow. So yes, that's where we're up to for that, Kate, and I hope that explains that for you. It will be from 9 to 5 every day, and the premium ticket holders will get the opportunity to have live coaching with me, an opportunity to connect with women from all around the world, and in our cocktails, Q&A and connection session on Saturday night. So that's just for premium level ticket holders. Lovely. Oh, Lynn says, I was on your very first online event at the beginning of this pandemic when you had to change it to online from in person. What an awesome weekend it was. Thank you so much, Lynn. We loved doing it. It was not easy, but we managed to pull that off in 36 hours. We have had, a good 6 months to get ready for this one. So imagine how fabulous it's going to be now we actually know what we're doing. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. So please share far and wide, ladies. Really grateful for that. Selma, hello, beautiful Selma. She says, I'm super excited about this workshop. Me too. Absolutely, me too. And I look forward to seeing you there too, Jilly. It is going to be fabulous. So please do, and please do share with your friends in Melbourne who are having a tough time at the moment. I think it'll be a critical piece, a really, really critical piece. Well, my angels, it has been beautiful to talk with you about certainty, uncertainty, and ways to find certainty in the face of uncertainty. We will be there to support you in that journey, and support you along the way even further at Momentum for Change in a couple of weekends person. Oh, right. Yeah, Simone's saying she's having a rough few days here. Got it, my love. I have a premium ticket because I'm unsure if I'm mentally and emotionally able to attend in person. I got it, Simone. Well, listen, you know yourself the best. And like all one of many events, there will be a community of women there, and we will all be wherever we're up to. So come along, get started with us, and I bet by plugging into the community and getting some space from all the rough stuff that we can be there and support you, and that will charge you up. But you know yourself best, so that's a really great call to get a premium ticket so you can catch up afterwards if you haven't done, my love. But I hope that it will be a nourishing weekend for you, because that's absolutely what we've designed. I designed an amazing weekend to help you let go of that which is not serving and fill you up, recharge you, replenish you, and get you back into momentum. So it's going to be a lovely, lovely weekend. It's at oneofmany.co.uk/momentum. So that said, it's great to chat with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. And I look forward to, whoa, what's that? Sorry, wrong button. I was trying to be really really clever and put a little bit of music on as I was wrapping up, and I accidentally pressed the wrong button. So there you go. There we go. Now I've got a little bit of groovy outro music coming your way. Lots of love, ladies. I'll see you next Lunch and Learn Live. And everyone who's coming to Momentum for Change, give me a big me in the comments section and share it with the ladies in your community. Have a watch party with your mom. Have a watch party with your daughter. Have a watch party with your sister. Anyone who's in your support bubble. Why not get together for the weekend and have a good time? Bye.